We are here to react about the recent outings of the popular Nigerian actor Yul Edochie. I'm sure a lot of people watched it on social media. And just a brief background, he had a second wife, and there was a lot of reactions from people, mostly negative, especially from women. And a lot of people were surprised by his outings. I don't know if you saw the post on social media lately.
Yeah, I did. I think everyone who is interested in the entertainment industry in Africa, well, Africa generally speaking, particularly Nigeria, probably would have heard of the again his outing, right? And his recent disclosure of marriage to his second wife. Again, like you said, the comments or the reactions were,
61,000 comments.
That is quite a lot, and that was, just shortly after he released, he made that information public. So mixed feelings.
Mixed feelings, yeah.
People. Mixed feelings for most people.
I'll say maybe if you go through the comments, mostly women. I'll say maybe like 95% from women, and mostly negative comments.
Yeah.
So why do you think a lot of people were mad?
I don't. I mean, people can look at this from very different angles. People have talked about betrayal. And his betrayal to his first wife. I think people believe that there's a certain degree of loyalty when you marry a woman. You have to stay loyal to them. Sometimes I don't know if people are more understanding if you are caught cheating. They probably a little bit more understanding about that, as opposed to you
going out marrying a second wife.
Marrying a second wife. People are not very very understanding when that is the case.
Which is more noble for a married man to marry a second wife legally, or to cheat on his wife and she doesn't, or maybe she catches him?
Tricky. I think for me, I personally think it's honorable it was honorable of him to have made the decision to marry a second wife, as opposed to having this woman out there with a child, right, and figuring out how to be present in this child's life. Like it's more or less like running two homes.
That's true.
Speaking, one official home and then an official side home somewhere with this other woman and this other child, right? And I think taking responsibility, for me, it's honorable.
So and you look at it like a man stepping up to prevent another woman from being a single mom, and we know all the consequences of being a single mom and the stigma that comes with that. And just to have a caveat, polygamy is not illegal in Nigeria. So he was perfectly within the legal rights to be able to, get a second wife.
And the thing too is that if he was able to marry this woman, and when I say able, I'm not just talking about the traditional marriage. If there was actually a legal court registry marriage, this would mean that during his marriage to the first wife, they had
signed that
they were open for polygamy. And if he takes the step to be polygamous, I don't really see why people are up in arms, because he followed through with probably something that he wanted to do, and something that the first wife was
accepted too. But from her comment on his post on social media, it shows that, I mean, it wasn't really clear. If you guys know in the comments, if they were in a polygamous, they had signed a polygamous marriage with the first wife, please let us know. We are not very sure about that. But she came and said something along the lines of God is going to bless you guys, or God will punish you guys. I'm not exactly sure the wordings, but it's kind of like throwing shade. You could tell that her comment was she was really mad.
I don't think any woman is happy when they bring in a second wife. Even if they were fully aware and signed to be in a polygamous relationship, no woman is happy when they bring a rival, a competition. Sometimes women are more comfortable when this competition is outside the house and they can pretend not to know.
Right.
I would assume that she was aware that this girl existed.
Yeah.
I assume that she was aware that this child
existed. Yeah.
Right. So I think most people were aware. But the problem is he is formally acknowledged the woman and the child.
And the child.
That is where the problem is. Which to me there's not.
And there's nobility in that, right?
It's
noble.
it's noble of him.
Yeah.
They say men should take responsibilities of their actions.
Yeah.
A man goes ahead
and takes responsibility,
and then everyone is upset about it.
Everyone is so upset.
It's confusing. Yeah. It's confusing. It's really confusing. Want.
Yeah, exactly.
Really what people want.
And then, why do you think, for the sake of this argument, let's say they had signed polygamy with the first wife. He has signed with the polygamy with the first wife. Why do you think a lot of people, particularly women, were mad? And I'll show this. That do you think is the way he did it? Because let's just say that kid was 2 months old, and then he married a wife on Sunday, and I think made the post earlier this week.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are more mad by the way he did it, because he has this persona on social media that he's a lovely family man with a beautiful wife and beautiful kids that he loves so dearly.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and say, "Oh, by the way, I have a 2-month-old kid, and I just got married to a second wife after the kid was born." Do you feel like that played a role in why a lot of people?
Why are people disappointed?
Because in my mind, I think like people, particularly women, have this fantasy and fairy tale over the internet, and they feel like relationships, particularly among stars, is.
I think that is where the problem is. Where people want to live their lives copying or looking up to others, and then when these others, these celebrities that they look up to, make faux pas and make mistakes, and then
it breaks a lot of people's hearts.
And then they become upset.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, he did what he did.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
However he wanted it, his choice. He's not obliged to. There are no norms on rules
on social media
how to do this. Right?
Yeah.
I think he made a mistake, which I guess we all agree. I don't know if it's a mistake or it's intentional, that he had a side chick or a side girl or whatever you want to call it, and then they had a child.
Yeah,
I would say that would probably be a mistake.
Yeah,
and I would understand why people might be upset about that.
Yeah,
but the fact that he went ahead and married this woman,
so you feel like it's correcting a mistake,
it's the right thing to do,
right in the wrong.
That is he correcting the mistakes that he made.
Yeah.
You don't want a child growing up without a father, or a child growing up with a part-time dad.
Yeah.
Right? The only way that he can be a full-time parent to this child was to formally acknowledge this woman and acknowledge the child.
Well, people can be parents without necessarily being married.
You can hardly be a full-time parent.
Yeah.
Without
it helps to be married. That's for sure.
It helps the child as well.
It helps the child too.
The child as well.
Yeah.
No child wants to grow up knowing that he's a product of some illegitimate or some mishap somewhere, right? Yeah. People take responsibility not just for him, but I mean, people should look at the interest of the child as well.
Yeah.
This child growing up, how does he see himself?
Yeah. I'm just trying to say you can be really involved in your child's life even if you're not married. So there are a lot of people.
Well, you can, but again, you when we talk about deadbeat parents and then deadbeat dads, and then this man doesn't want to be that kind, and then
married,
you probably would have preferred him to be on and off father to
my point is, marrying doesn't necessarily make you a great parent.
It's not saying it makes you a great parent,
but it shows some
legitimizes your intention to be a parent.
It does.
That is the point I'm trying to make.
I totally understand that. It does.
But
so do you feel like if he had legally married this woman, then they had a kid, the reaction would have been different?
What does it matter, man?
It does matter, because people feel like he cheated on the wife, and then because of the kid, then that resulted into the marriage.
So what? I think the mistake people should know is that if you're hanging out with a girl, and you're having sex unprotected,
you're open to having children.
You're open to having children. And if you're hanging out with a girl and you're having unprotected sex, you should know that is
there are consequences. Yes.
And if you come to a point where you have to legitimize through marriage, you should not hesitate to do that, because if you can't just be with a girl just for the sake of being with a girl. It should be someone that you kind of have a connection with and might be able to get married to if you're forced to, or if for some reason you have to do that, right?
That's why I say a lot of frustration is coming from how he did it, not necessarily what he did. And I think like that's a lot. And for me, it's really people looking up to celebrity to be having all this wonderful family life and portraying themselves as these angels on social media.
But the thing is, people continue to believe in everything they see.
That's the problem with social media. Which is the problem. Who's to blame though? The person who is putting out the persona, or the person who is copying?
No, it's you who wants to copy. Or it's you who has given this guy a certain standard, or you put him on a certain level, and then you're expecting a whole lot from him. Maybe expectations that he doesn't even know of. And then expectations that he can't even meet, even if he wanted to. So who is at fault? Is it you for having this much expectation on someone you don't even know?
Well, because I would say identity sells on social media. If you come out as this family guy, that sells. If you come out as this gold digger, that sells. If you come out as a sex teasing person on social media, that sells a lot. So people identify you with a particular identity, particularly if you create that social media aura and tied to a particular identity. Some people, they have a lot of interracial relationship that they are showing how glorious it is on social media. Some people are showing how age gap difference is glorious on social media. So they have that persona, and they're presenting mostly the good sides on social media. They never tell you about the negative. So a lot of people who are struggling in their lives identify with these people. They usually wish they want to be like these people. But unfortunately,
most public figures, celebrities, politicians, name them, most public figures have an intent, and they portray a certain image based on certain goals
that they want to achieve.
And you who is sitting out there looking at that and believing
the one
that's true, you are the one at fault. There's this trial going on, Johnny Depp,
and I never heard.
Have you heard?
Oh my goodness,
I mean, if you hear the stories and then you look at the image that these two people portrayed outside,
I know it is crazy.
It is crazy. And then if you go ahead and you're disappointed in what is happening now, how do you blame these people? You can't go around and blame them.
So right? I think like we should be able to know that social media is not real, and people are only portraying the good part. Why do you think?
What is the good part? Like,
well, because people only put the good things, the good things on social media, only the nice things, right? Like nobody's coming to say, "Oh, I'm suffering from this on social media," or "I'm broke," or blah blah blah. Everybody's very rich on social media and stuff like that.
But just going back to this loyalty, betrayal. What do you think about that side of the argument?
About being loyal,
him betraying the first wife, and I guess the argument is that they got married young, and this woman was there, has been there for him, right? And has done a whole lot, which he has recognized, and that too is an honorable thing. And then now people are saying you betrayed the woman who has been in your life and who has taken you to where you how do you see that?
I feel like there's some level of betrayal, particularly how it was done, because there's a lot of reports that she did not know. She knew over social media. We are yet to confirm that. I mean, she hasn't come and said anything.
I can argue that.
You can. If she went in knowing that it was a polygamous relationship, then you should be able to know that this is an option that the man can exercise and the woman can exercise too. Usually the man does though.
But anyway, another thing too is, again, sorry for interrupting, that they got married young. I think that he was 22.
He was 22
years old when they got married. Do you think this? I don't know how old the what's her name, May. I don't know how old she was at the time of marriage. But did you think she fully, if at all, they signed polygamy? Did you think she fully understood?
I think I think maybe she understood, but whether you understand or not is not relevant. As long as you've reached legal age and you sign, you put your signature on that paper, it has consequences. I don't know. She probably thought that maybe, the love of this guy is going to convince him to stay. That's assuming that they signed it and she was like, oh, no, I'm going to be enough for him. But of course, the guy was broke then. He's famous now. He has a lot of money. So with money comes the need to exercise your options. So he probably took that. Because if this guy was broke and not famous, he won't be able to have a second wife. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
No other woman will be able to marry him. But it's because people, again, and it comes back to this fairy tale that people have because of the personalities people are presenting, that, oh, you can be famous and rich and have all these things and still love one woman for the rest of your life and be happy ever after, right?
No.
So, that's why I think a lot of people, particularly women, are heartbroken because this dream that they had is broken. So you can tell a lot of people are affected by that. That's why you see a lot of comments on social media. I was going to take it another way. Why do you think people are coming at him for marrying a second wife and not at the woman for accepting to be a second wife?
I don't know, because maybe
it just shows a double standard, doesn't it?
I guess the man has to ask.
Yeah, but the woman has to accept. First of all, you have to accept people to sleep with you in the first place. Yeah. If somebody is married and the person is coming to sleep with you unprotected, it has consequences.
But that's a very serious argument too. I was talking to this friend again just about this same issue, and it's like she was like, oh no, I'll never sleep with a married man. Never give a married man the opportunity to kind of sleep with me or have a relationship with me. And then the question was, what if? So I understand you not wanting to. Yeah. But what if the right man with the right
money, the right power, the right fame,
and the right amount of influence and the right amount of everything
exactly comes along?
So, will you care if they were married?
Exactly.
I think that's
the question, because everything is up for bargain as long as there's the right price.
Yeah.
You know, if a billionaire comes and says, you're going to be my... I mean, it happened with the Regina Daniels, a younger Nigerian actor. The billionaire came. She's the sixth wife. And I think she married this guy in her late teens, maybe early 20s. But she's the sixth wife. This guy has billions. And if the guy comes and say, I'm going to set you with... I set you up with 100 million, 200 million naira, or let's say... $5 million US, just be my seat wife. A lot of women will give that a serious thought, and if they're saying they're not, they're lying.
If I was a woman, I would.
You give a serious thought, right? That sets up your life. It sets up your generation. It sets up your children. Sets up your entire family for someone.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I really thought, like, why are they not coming at this woman? Because she accepted. It's not like she had a gun to her head to be the second wife. She accepted, but somehow she's been put out of this conversation, or maybe not as much as the guy. I just feel like sometimes women are also given excuse for their bad behaviors.
It's double standards.
It's just double standards on the internet.
It's easier to, in this case, I think it's easier to
come at the man.
Overlook this. I think it's Judith. What the second woman did.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to overlook that and then to pay a lot of attention on the man. Again,
it takes away the responsibility from the woman.
Exactly. But if they're assuming that the man is the one who is making these decisions. Again, I'm not saying that that's true, but I'm just saying most people are looking at the man, putting the responsibility on him because they're assuming that he's the one. He's the which word can I use? He's the
and a lot of I'm sorry to say, but a lot of women, like, they fail to have other women take accountability for their actions because they like to blame the man sometimes. So it's easier.
Should we even be holding any of them accountable?
These are two rational people,
adults.
who made a decision.
Heard that anyone was forced to do anything they didn't do.
Yeah.
I don't even know that is illegal.
Yeah.
In Nigeria,
no, it is legal to marry a second wife.
To have two wives.
Yeah. It's very legal.
I would go as far as saying it's much better to have two wives, officially married to two wives, than have a wife and then have 15 other girlfriends or concubines or however you call them. I'd rather be a polygamist, official legal polygamist, than be a monogamist with 20 women and kids, that uncountable kids all over the place.
As long as you're the right man, you can do the undoable. What money cannot do, more money can do.
More money can do.
So please let us know what you think in the comment section. Are we off? We would like to know.